on what you need to do when you get invited to join the boards of companies. Because this is very contextual, this is very current, this is a question that I get asked very often. Some company has asked me to join the board. Do I say yes or no? Yes or no is not a 10-second response to a question or an invitation like that. Several things are required to be considered, and let me share with you some of the more important items that you need to consider. Just as boards do evaluation of candidates before inviting persons to the board, you too should be doing an evaluation of the companies and the boards to which you are invited. It's not because there is a lot of choice, but it is because when you get invited, you should know that you are going into a place where you're reasonably safe, reasonably secure, reasonably welcome, and in a position to contribute meaningfully to the deliberations of that board of directors. So let me set the context. Firstly, if you move to 2024, which is not too far off, it's just 2 years, you will find several hundred vacancies arising in the boards of directors. This is because of two reasons. One, many of them have completed 2 terms and are ineligible to remain on the board. The second is that many of them have remained on the board so long and they're waiting for the first opportunity to leave because the threat of prosecutions, the mounting liabilities on directors, and all of that are sufficiently disincentivizing, discouraging, and disquieting, and people want to leave. So what that leads to is a number of vacancies in 2024. Many boards have realized that there aren't too many quality directors. I know we are an overpopulated country, but it is not as if every man or woman is ready to be a director or a board. And therefore, if everyone waits for 2024, you will find a mad scramble for the better directors. And in that scramble, boards will lose out, individuals will lose out. Therefore, many boards that are having qualities of foresight are looking at bringing on board directors without waiting for 2024. Bring additional directors on the board now so that when the vacancies arise, you will have continuity with change. All of this adds up to one thing. Sooner rather than later, some of you are going to be approached by boards, by managements, by companies, asking you to say yes to an invitation to join the board. What should you be looking at? The first, and this is an overarching question, this is a mother question. Will being on that board impact your reputation adversely? Look at the other directors on the board. It is said that a man is known by the company he keeps. And that principle applies in boardrooms. If the rest of the people on the board are persons, some of whom have dubious reputations, some of whom are acknowledged non-performers, is that a group that you would want to belong to? Because you could be tarred with the same brush of non-performance, or what is worse, of dubious reputation. It's a concept I call transferred reputational risk, and you don't want that to hurt you at this stage of your lives. Therefore, look at who is already on that board. Certainly look at the financial performance of the company. If the company has made loss for a year or two, it's not necessarily a bad board to be on. Look at viability. In the long run, is that company likely to survive? Is that company likely to prosper? Are those 2 years of losses merely blips on a long journey? It's entirely possible. And you might be one of those who will help the company to get back on the path of profitability. Therefore, don't rule out those boards. The third thing that you need to do is to look at compensation. You are committing quality time, valuable time, not just attending board meetings, not just attending committee meetings, but poring through all the agenda notes, studying the minutes when they reach you to see if the proceedings are actually correctly captured. Even between meetings, interacting with management to understand the company better and perhaps to provide your insights on what should be done better by the company management, so what should be done more of. Therefore, you are, in short, committing sufficient quality time when you join a board. If that is what you are bringing to the table, you have a right to be suitably compensated. Otherwise, you will be underselling yourself and wondering where you got into, because you are not joining a board as part of your charitable exercise. You're joining a board to do a professional duty which law and regulations expect you to do. The related question, of course, is how much time can you commit? Look at how many meetings the board has held in the previous years, and that's indicative. It may be one or two more, it may be one or two less after you join the board. But are you willing to commit that many days of quality time? And remember, this could involve travel from your home station to where the company holds its meetings. This could involve a lot of preparation, as I mentioned. This could involve interactions. This could involve several things that could catch you unawares if you're not sufficiently prepared. Therefore, are you willing to commit quality time? That is one box that you must tick before you proceed further. In order to discover the right answer, are you going to say yes or no to that offer? Yet another point that you should not ignore is, for want of a better description, let me call it the democracy in the boardroom. Are you going to just make up the numbers? Is someone in that boardroom going to make you a prisoner of presentations, a prisoner of monologues, while you sit, make up the numbers, applaud on occasion, perhaps have tea and cookies, but do no more to contribute to the proceedings? Don't join that board. There are persons who might enjoy that, but since I believe many of you are thinking persons that want to add value, surely those are not the boards that you want to go to. Go to boards where you are welcome, where you are invited because they believe that you are going to add value to the board, to the discussions, to the company. If that's not the expectation, don't go there. The other trap to avoid is many of you have had very distinguished careers. You have acquitted yourselves very well. The world knows you as achievers, as performers, and therefore some companies would want you on the boards not because of what you would bring to the boardroom, but because of who you have been. These are the marquee names that they are looking for on the board. And a marquee name is a very dangerous trap. When things go wrong, it's the marquee names on the board that attract the most attention. Those that are less known are the ones that will escape adverse notice. The marquee names will be the ones that get targeted. And therefore, I think it's important to ask some straight, tough, searching questions. One of which is, why do you want me on your board? Don't just look at the financials, don't just look at the regulatory track record, don't just look at the auditor's report. All of those are important. But this is a question about you. Why are you being invited to the board? And if the answer to that is not a good enough answer, say thank you very much for the invitation. Perhaps we'll remain friends, but we'll remain friends outside the boardroom. I don't need to see you in the boardroom because I believe that I might not add value. I believe that you are calling me into the boardroom not because you expect that value will be added. So be prepared. The invitations will come. Be discerning, exercise judgment, choose well, and get on to the boards where the board will benefit because you are going to be there, where you will benefit because you're going to walk into a boardroom with good people, good intentions, and a good future. I wish you well. Thank you.